Hello there, I'm Denny Harrington. This is Dead Air Media Football. Elon Musk, let's keep the politics out of it, is going to buy a football club. Which one? And is it actually happening? Let's get into it. Elon Musk reportedly, okay, so this is a rumor from about a month ago. I'm very late on this. My apologies. I got very sick over Christmas. Only just getting over it now. My new year was absolutely rubbish. Happy New Year, by the way. My new year consisted of me closing my eyes in 2024 and opening them in 2025 to the sound of fireworks. So that was my new year. It was pretty terrible, but hopefully you had a good Christmas, New Year's. That's why there's been no videos on this channel, because I've been incredibly ill and no one wants to hear somebody sound like this. Elon Musk is going to buy a football club. This is a story that came out towards mid-December, and I wanted to talk about it for a while, and it's amazing, amazing. So let's have a look at the different articles, starting with the original from the 5th of December by Mark Wiley of Gloucestershire Live. And as someone that used to work for BBC Radio Gloucestershire, this is quite fascinating. Elon Musk has been advised to sink some of his extreme wealth into Cheltenham Town if he ultimately decides to invest in English football. Where does this come from? Well, this comes from a football finance expert, Dr. Rob Wilson, a professor of applied sport finance at Sheffield Hallam University. Now, you'd think being a professor at Sheffield Hallam University, you'd probably convince them to invest in a Sheffield football club. Sheffield United already have American owners. Sheffield Wednesday probably would like one or like new owners, although they're doing all right at the moment. And there are plenty of other teams in and around Sheffield. There's Rotherham United. I mean, if you wanted to buy history, you can go for Hallam FC, or you can buy the amateur and the world's oldest club, which is Sheffield Football Club. And they're due for a return to Sheffield. I'm not sure if they've built their new stadium yet, but we will do a video on that at some point. Also, we got to do a video on Cray Wanderers returning home as well, because they've finally got a stadium of their own. This quote then from Dr. Jones. Sorry, I suddenly went for Aqua. If Elon Musk wants to get into football club ownership, Cheltenham Town is an extraordinary interesting prospect, particularly to the US market. Millions of people in the US love British culture, quintessential Middle England and the Cotswolds, where Cheltenham is based. Cheltenham is not based in the Cotswolds. It is outside of the Cotswolds. If you ask people in the Cotswolds if Cheltenham is based in the Cotswolds, they will say absolutely not. Cheltenham is just Gloucestershire. It's on the fringes. The Cotswolds are, like places like Tetbury. I'm sorry. You know what? I've been to the Cotswolds a million times, and I'm starting to forget. Lechlade, places like that. There you go. I literally live on the doorstep of the Cotswolds. It's the most beautiful place in the world. Cheltenham is not in the Cotswolds. It's on the fringes, on the edges of the Cotswolds. But maybe that's the point they're making. Some lovely architecture in Cheltenham as well, which is very, for a football fan, I don't care. You don't care about architecture. It's very different from the city of Gloucester, which is kind of a bit of a dive. But hey-ho. Gloucester and Swindon are very similar to each other in terms of their kind of aesthetic. But Cheltenham, very, very different, very affluent in parts of it. Obviously, everywhere's got its terrible bits. It's places where, it's not as well funded. Or it's not as nice. Deprived areas is what I'm thinking. But Cheltenham Town, other than it being Middle England, I really don't understand why Cheltenham. Why would it be Cheltenham? The only sport I can associate with Cheltenham is horse racing because of Cheltenham Racecourse. But other than that, you know, Gloucestershire's a rugby county. You know, you got the Cherry and Whites of Gloucester Rugby. You got Hartpury University; they've got their own rugby team. Um, you know, the Stroud Valley is a big on rugby. I know they've got Forest Green Rovers in Nailsworth, but you know, it is a rugby county, Gloucestershire. It's very big on rugby union. At least if he bought Cheltenham Town, it would be very different from the kind of eco-friendly, left-leaning Forest Green ownership of Dale Vince. That would be very different. I don't really want to bring in politics. This article from Goal, which was written by, let's give them some credit, Chris Burton, talks about, you know, the opportunity of Cheltenham being the next Wrexham, maybe getting a documentary, maybe buying into the ideas of the Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. And that brings me to the conclusion and scariest point of the video is not about Elon Musk buying Cheltenham Town. Let's be honest, it's not happening. This is so much like that Vince McMahon buying Newcastle United rumor, which came from nowhere. This rumor came from nowhere. It's not happening, folks. I'd be exceptionally surprised. But why? So why make a video on something that I know is not going to happen? Well, we made a video on the Vince McMahon thing. Great piece to promote that video when he was rumored to buy Newcastle United. It never happened. Elon Musk is not buying Cheltenham Town, first of all. So if you're a Cheltenham Town fan and you don't like Elon Musk and what he stands for in his politics, then good news, he's not buying your club. I doubt it very much. I'm 99.9% certain. You've got to add that 0.01% of doubt. But I'm pretty sure Elon Musk is not buying Cheltenham Town. But what this does represent, and the reason for this video, is the negative side of Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's takeover of Wrexham. Lots of positives as well. Brilliant for the Wrexham fans. They've had a lot of darkness, and now they get their day in the sun to show what they're all about. And welcome to Wrexham. I admittedly didn't watch the last one. Probably not going to watch it going forward. But, you know, I watched the first season of it and the first series, and it was beautiful. It was brilliant. It was brilliant to see all those lovely people and to kind of see what they were doing for the community in Wrexham as well. But you're not always going to get that with American owners. And I think that's the negative effect of the Wrexham effect. Because if Wrexham do continue their meteoric rise, and they will get some backlash when they get into the Championship, of course, they'll just be the Hollywood boys. And that'll be the derogatory term for them. When they get into the Championship, I don't think they'll get promoted straight away. I think they'll spend a couple of years in the Championship, which might make American investors a bit wary of English football, which they should be, because it is a meritocracy. It's not like you can buy your place in the Premier League. You can try. Clubs have tried. Look at Reading. You know, look at what happened to Reading and, you know, other clubs. Sheffield Wednesday to a little bit of a degree as well, although they're now back in the Championship. I think the negative effect of the Wrexham story, and the biggest negative is, and there's lots of positives. I'm not having a go at Wrexham, but this kind of example shows to the worst kind of investors, the vultures, vulture capitalists, as I like to call them, the worst kind of investors, that the opportunity to make money in English football is there. You can buy any old club and just get them, make a documentary and get them into the Premier League. The worst kind of vultures would look to do that. And that is very, very dangerous. That's a very dangerous position to be in, because what happens when they get bored or when it doesn't work? Because not everyone can be in the Premier League. You can't have 100 American-owned teams in the Premier League, you know. And as much as we love playing Football Manager and getting, you know, a backwater team into like the Champions League final, I'm just trying to let's go with Bristol Manor Farm. That's a name that springs to mind. Bet you didn't know there was a football club called Bristol Manor Farm, but there is. Imagine getting them into the Champions League final, overtaking Bristol City and Bristol Rovers and getting them into the Champions League final. As much as we love doing that on Football Manager, doing that in real life with loads of American money is not palatable, and it's not, it won't work. It wouldn't work. As much as fantasy, it's a fantasy, but it will never meet reality. But the worry is that a lot of smaller clubs would end up getting bought out by hedge funds and vulture capitalists with the idea of, well, we'll just make a documentary, make a couple million quid and sell it on when it's in the Premier League. Like it's no big deal. And that's what a fear is, the negative effect of the Wrexham effect. Lots of positives. And this video has turned out into a bit of a bashing for Wrexham. So apologies to Wrexham fans because, as I said, they deserve their day in the sun because of the struggle that they've been through. However, there are negative effects to, the whole welcome to Wrexham thing. And I think we need to start being aware and start having to have a look at that. And we have to be aware of it because those negative impacts are coming. Elon Musk, though, is not buying Cheltenham Town. I guarantee that. So when he does buy it, I'm going to have to eat a hat or something, right? Okay. Do all that YouTubey nonsense. Like, share, subscribe. Share your opinion of Elon. Please don't share your opinion of Elon Musk in the comments. I really, really don't care. Neither does he, by the way. But if there is a football story that you want us to cover, that you want us to have a look at in terms of our animated videos or one of these talk to camera pieces, then do let us know. Leave it in the comments. It all helps engagement. Thank you very much for watching. Have a brilliant rest of your day. Have a great 2025, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.